Hi, everybody. It's DocTalk. Hope you're moving towards Memorial Day well. A lot going on. There's almost too much to talk about today, so we'll get right to it. Timely topics, weather related. So we have had severe weather just moving across the country. Tornadoes, severe storms, hail. What has been a real consistent problem is flooding, and flooding West Coast to East Coast. And I want to make sure you understand running and rushing water are significant fatal risks for human beings. This isn't a maybe. This is real life threats. So driving, walking, playing around rushing water that's flood waters is extraordinarily dangerous. We have plenty of messages that say stay alive, don't drive into water. But people still ignore that, thinking that that road ahead, maybe they know that road, maybe they don't. It'll be fine. My car always gets through water until it doesn't. And if you can't see the road clearly with water that is not moving across it, don't go in it. Stop, turn around, don't drown. That's very clear. We also put other people at risks when our cars are floating free and going down a rushing stream of water, because then rescuers are trying to get to you, and that is some of the most dangerous rescue work that we do. Don't walk into it unless you know the depth of it. There's a couple reasons. One, you can be swept off your feet and drowned. Second thing is water that is dirty water is many times filled with chemicals, human waste, animal waste, and other things. It's filthy. It is filthy, dirty, dangerous, infection-laden water. That's not what you want to be in. It's fun running in fresh rain and watching it go down the drains in the road or the yard or whatever it is. That's not what I'm talking about. That there's no significant danger from that. But floodwaters, dirty waters, waters that have been sitting for a while. So you see sometimes people dancing around in filthy floodwaters in neighborhoods and around city streets that has been laying there for hours to days. That is extraordinarily infection-laden water that you don't want to be in. And where there's been significant floods, and those floods have resulted in water that ran for a while and then pooled somewhere and can't get out, so it's waiting to evaporate away. That's particularly dangerous water. So I wanted to make you aware that flooding is a horrible way, drowning is a horrible way of dying. And floodwaters is a really quick way to go from having a real nice day and an appreciation of nature to life threats. And then again, you put the rescuers in significant danger. For you recreational people, going into rushing waters with a kayak or a makeshift boat of some kind is also a dreadful idea, and is a very good way to die. Low dams, for those who are recreational, know about the danger of those. But makeshift low dams in floodwaters then set up that same very, very, very dangerous setup for you as the original victim or victims, plus the rescuers who are trying to get you out. So I don't want to make you aware of that. As usual, tornadoes, take heed of the warnings, severe thunderstorms, rain, lightning, hail, still significant life threats and property threats. Second topic that is timely, how about burn injuries? We're here at the beginning of the summer season. 4 places to get into trouble with burns. Number one around the house is the kitchen, and the kitchen, and attempting to take things, and this is a time of year we fry a lot of stuff, and a fryer that you drop something into that's cold or frozen, it can flash into a fire, ignite the grease that's underneath it, or falling asleep as you're boiling some oil to get it prepared to do something is a real good way to set your kitchen on fire. First of all, you should have a fire extinguisher at a place around your house, and you should know how to use it. So it's close to the kitchen. The second place is the garage. The third place is the bathroom related to electrical appliances and hot water there. The fourth place is outside doing grilling, lighting propane at your grill, et cetera. Those are the places. Your fire extinguisher needs to be at a place where you can get to it quickly. Do not attempt to carry burning oil out of the house. And don't throw something on it that just spreads the fire, spreads the oil. So if you splash something in oil that's already on fire, you just move the fire out away from the original source and make it worse. If you have a pot lid you can put on quickly without burning yourself, that's the number one way. You turn off the heat. That's a really important step as well. But don't attempt to move it. What happens when you attempt to move it? You grab that pan, griddle, whatever it is that you're attempting to fry in. As you try to move it, it'll often spatter as it's burning, and those spattered pieces come onto your hands, and you have no control. You cannot keep the grip on. So then it splatters on you. You release whatever it is that you're trying to carry outside, and then it burns down the front of you, or it hits the floor and sprays the burning liquid on your lower extremities. So then you've got 2 burn injuries and potentially another fire. If you have clothes on, it can set your clothes on fire. All bad outcomes. I want to make you aware we've had recent burns related to 2 things. The microwave, particularly the microwave that is at counter height or at cupboard height. Counter height is safer, much safer. At the cupboard height above you, when you go to take something out of that cupboard above you and it's boiling, spattering, or very hot, and once again, I will say sometimes stuff will spatter on you. If it's boiling already, you drop it and it goes right down the front of you. And so those are very significant burns very, very quickly from your cup of coffee, cup of tea, soup, whatever it is that you were warming up. Or the second thing is you go to grab something and you grab without having a stable base of what you're doing. And that happens with our elder people a little too much. And then it comes out, they lose control and it sprays down the front of them. Here's a weird second one where we had a burn recently. How about your thermal cup? Your very good thermal cup that you put your very hot coffee in. And the next thing, a little person comes and grabs that, and the top is not on it tightly, and the hot liquid goes down. This preserves burn level heat in certain beverages for a long period of time. Please don't forget about that when it comes to these. You're very safe maybe around them as an adult, although you could easily tip a very hot beverage on yourself. But I want to make you aware in the little kids, the burns at 180 degrees, those become very deep partial thickness burns to full thickness burns in little children. Goes right down typically to their diaper area and causes extraordinary pain, scarring, and lifelong implications for that child. So that's kind of a weird one. Other places around the house, the garage, please don't use gasoline for anything other than taking it outside, filling up whatever device you're using, your blower, your lawnmower, etc. That refueling process belongs outside. Gasoline is not used for cleaning anything, please. That's a very dangerous use of gasoline. And always remember, it is not the liquid gasoline itself that burns, it's the fumes. And so if you can smell gasoline, there's plenty of fumes that are coming at you that if it hits any ignition source like that, it ignites the fumes. So it's not about keeping the liquid itself safe. It is the fumes that are coming off that are flammable, will burn you. If you have fumes that are coming off your clothing, that whatever you have ignited comes back and hits your clothing, and then your clothing's on fire. And our modern plastic-ish clothing, we don't use as much in the summertime, but that plastic clothing will melt on you and cause even more significant burns. So I'm doing timely topics here as we come to Memorial Day. We'll talk about firecrackers and fireworks at a future session, but I want to make you aware, flooding and rushing water from our current sets of spring storms, very dangerous to humans. drowning is a terrible way to die. And number two is burns. And as we head into the season where we go grill and we're in a hurry and cooking our food in the microwave or boiling stuff on the stove, really dangerous to you, but particularly to the little ones. And that was one of our recent burns. So be safe. Have a great May. Be safe around the weather, around the country. And I'll see you next just before Memorial Day. Take care, everyone. Doc Talk, May.